Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Harmon, and I'm going to, as I promised, I'm going to make another one of these videos, and this one will deal with access case number 2. Let me say again, this is to supplement what we do in class, not a substitute. And I stated that over at Moodle and put that in the email I've sent to everybody. Again, this is access case number 2. This is Hudson, Palmer, Martinez, and Flenderson, attorneys at law, and it's in the cases over there at page 165. Again, this is to supplement. I'll go through this pretty quickly. This supplements what you do in class. Again, it is not a substitute for class, for attendance in class. All right, now I'm going to share my screen with you, my desktop. And there it is. As you can see, we're over here at the BISS 1123 Section A. Of course, A and B we're doing the same thing. And I'll pop that down. And as I mentioned before, we're working on case number 2, the access case number 2, and that's over on page 165. So I'm going to scroll over here, scroll down to the Solve It student files. We're going to be using those. And so we'll find those. Here they are. Now we'll open those up. And you'll see, as I mentioned in the first video, the Solve It, Chapter 5. And you'll want to put it on your desktop. And I'll put in copy and replace. Now, as I said before, in the first video, and as I'll speak about in class, this database has all the tables that we'll use for each case. So just to refresh your memory, I'll open this up right here, and we're going to look for case number 2. Scrunch this out just a bit. I don't believe we make any files from scratch on this one. I don't. Here it is. Yeah, Hudson Palmer, case number 2. So we'll open up that table. Now, as I mentioned in class, and as I briefly mentioned in the video for access case number 1, and as the textbook tells you, there are basically 4 basic components of a database. The table, that's where we store everything. A query engine, a way that I get data from the table. A form, which is a way to put data into the table, and then a report. That is, I generate a report from the results of my query. Now, I'm going to scooch this back just a little bit so we have a little more room here. This is the shutter area, and I think I'll just close it. See, again, I can, and that's the navigation pane. I can open it up. I can close it. This gives us a little bit more room. Now, page 165, the usual story here in all of these cases. And what they basically will do is they're going to go through, and I'll go back here for just a moment to the big screen share. There we go. That's the larger version of me. As you can see, page 165, they tell some stories about they give us some information about the company, and they've got 85 freelance witnesses and contract personnel, and that's at the top of page 165, expert witnesses, private investigators, process servers, and legal researchers. And this is the very first paragraph of page 165. So they say they're wanting to figure out, they know the remuneration of these folks is based on performance, and so they want to get some data, and they want to put that into a database where they can track that performance and pay it out. Now, as I had mentioned in the case, everything's on a 3x5 index, so they're very unhappy with that. So they want to create a database, and they walk through the following fields, and this is at page 166. The following fields are identified: first and last name, the skill, like you're an expert witness, private investigator, whatever, hourly rate, number of employee hours employed for each quarter of 2008, the phone number, the rating, if it's excellent, good, okay, report, and initials of the rater. And they mentioned Hudson received the suggestions. This is one of the partners, and added a field to store an additional free-form text comment from each freelancer. So if you'll take a look at the bottom of page 166 and then again at the top of 167, you're going to see the tasks that they want us to do here for this case. And so I'm going to take this and squinch myself back down, hopefully. Small, there we go. And you can see right here we have a last name, we have the first name, okay? We have their skill, we have their hourly rate. We don't have some data like the number of hours employed per quarter, okay? And then we also need a phone number, a rating, an excellent, good, etc. This is the skeleton file, okay? And I'm going to close this down for just a second. And we go back over here to Moodle. And I want to find, here's Hudson Palmer. And this is what I'm not showing. I'm not going to show it to, I'll show it to everybody on Tuesday, on the next week. But basically, I'm going to open this up and show you. This has all the data in it, and we'll be working with it anyway. So I'm going to take this Hudson Palmer, this solvent, and I'm going to close it off. And I'm going to enable the content. And this is the table with the forms, and this is pretty much where we needed to be. Now, I'm going to open up the Hudson Palmer, and this says use me, so this should be the full table. I'll close these back, and it is. And you can see this is the one we'll work with. Now, we've worked on constructing a table, and so we're going to go into the design view. I can go into the design view one of two ways, as you can see right here. Okay, or I can go up here and click on that in the far left corner. I'm going to go to the design view. You'll see have the ID, it's an auto number. We talked about that. Here's the last name, the first name. Here's their skill. Here's their hourly rate. Okay, here's what they did in the first quarter of the year, the second quarter, the third and the fourth quarter, the phone number, the rating, the rater, and the comment. And as you could see, I have all the data there in that table. So I didn't have you go ahead and input a whole bunch of data or mess around with it, for the simple reason we would have spent a lot of time playing with it, messing around with it. Now, you said, well, how would you get the data? Well, you could enter it through a form, okay, or you could import the data. And when I'm in class, we will probably import some data. So let me go back here and look for just a moment in the Moodle room, and I want to see if I have some data I can import in. And I thought that I might have a file to import all that data. And I'll see where I got that. It's north. Here it is. You'll see this. This is the Hudson Palmer import for access case number 2. Now, I'm not going to take the time here to do the import because it's pretty easy to do. Okay, this has all the data that we need, and you'll see. Now, you say, so what you're saying is a lot of times you're going to be importing data, say, from Excel into Access, and maybe even Access back to Excel. Yeah, okay. So all the data that's in that Hudson Palmer use me file, this one, I'll go back here to the data sheet view, is all here inputted from that Excel file. So in class, I will show you the import process, and we'll go from there. Okay. Now, and that's why I said these supplement these supplement the class sessions. They're not a substitute. Now, they ask us to complete the table design. This is task number 1 at the bottom, page 166. So we've done that. We've got everything in here, all 4 quarters, etc. And I'm gonna push this navigation pane back here for a minute, and we're gonna click on all access objects so you can see. Okay, here this says Hudson Palmer, use me. Hudson Palmer, here's a form, and this is a form. I'll open it up, and this we can use to input data into that table. Okay. Now you notice we haven't run any queries, but we have done that. We've done step 1 of the table of the table. Now, last time, okay, I talked about creating some lookup tables, and we can do that with the skill, okay, and some other things that we call constants. We could do that with the rating. We could do that with the rater, and then we could do that with comments. Now, we had imported data, but I'm just going to show you. We're going to add, again, just to show you, I'm going to click, we're going to add one more. We'll do this again. And I'm going to click here on create. Well, let's do this for a moment. I'm going to go ahead and close this table off. And I'm going to click create. Table design. And I'm going to put in here and we're making a decision whether to hire and we're going to call this decision ID. So we're going to go through here and whether we're going to hire this person or not. Okay. And then this will be the decision ID, and we're going to make that data type. We're going to make that an auto number. Okay. And then we're going to put yes, no. Okay. Pardon me. We're going to put the decision. Yeah. So we won't have that. So we're just going to have the decision ID and the decision. Now, the decision ID, I'm going to make it a primary key by either right-clicking and doing that or clicking up here in the toolbar. And I'm going to save this. So I'll go to save it. I can just click save. And I'm going to call this decision. Okay. And we'll go up here to the view. And on the decision, I'm going to put yes, keep, no. We'll put, I'll go back up here for a minute. Yes, keep using, no, do not use. Okay? So you'll notice as we fill these rows in, you'll see, as you can see on the rows, the yes, keep using, the do not use. Again, those are basically choices in terms of our decision and whether we're going to keep this person or not. So I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to close it. Now I'm going to open this pane back up, and I'm going to go over here to the this Hudson Palmer Use Me table, and I'll open it up. And then I'm going to go to the design view. Remember, I can do it using right click We're up here. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to create a column called decision. And based on the rating, we're going to keep them or we're not. Okay? So far, so good. Now I'm going to do a lookup table. And remember how that works. I'm going to click the text box. I'm going to click a combo box. I click the lookup tab, excuse me. Click the lookup tab, excuse me. Okay? And then I click the combo box. I'll come down to the second field that says the table query, the row source type. And then I'm going to click down on the third one, which says row source. I'll click here on the three dots. And it's going to show me the tables. And I'm going to add the decision table. Then I'm going to click decision. I'm going to run the query and it shows me, yes, do not keep using, no, do not use. Okay? Close that, say, yes, I want to save it. And you can see in that row source, it gives me the code, the SQL, the SQL for that. Now I have one bound column. I have a column count as 1. The column width, and I'm going to make that 3 inches. And I'll go back up to the data sheet view. And when I do that, it asks me if I want to save it. I'll say yes. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll all the way over here to the decision column. And I'm going to move this out a little bit. And let's see if I have my drop-down menu like I like. Yep. And then I can just populate that. Yes, keep using, no, do not. Okay? So again, this is one of the ways we build tables. Now, I could have added that field when I created the form, okay, that we used to populate this. And as you saw, as I told you earlier, we can also populate a table with an export, with an import from another Access database or from an Excel file or some other data type file. You have to make sure there's some steps to follow, and that's why I really, you need to be in class to see that. Okay. Well, we're gonna close this off. All right. And so we basically, we could just keep working these, and we'll just go ahead and fill the table. No, do not use, and we'll do. We could do yes, keep using. No, do not. Just keep alternating it. You can see, got this drop-down menu. Now we'll just go ahead so it's we get a full table of data. Now, bear in mind, you'd be putting this in, we're putting this all in at once. This would be something you'd be accumulating record by record. And a record, as I told you before, is nothing more than a series of columns. Here's a record, set of columns. Now, we'll close this table, and we've added, and we've done, again, we've done a little table building. And we'll save the changes. Now, I'm at the bottom of page page 166, and they say fabricate and enter hours worked for the existing freelancers or contractors. Enter data for 3 new freelancers, private investigators, blah, blah, blah. And we've done that. We have there. And let's open this back up for a moment and let's take a look and see what we had. We have each contractor. We have the number of hours that they worked in 2008 in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third, and the fourth. So we've basically done number 1 and number 2. And now what they're asking, I'm at the bottom of page 166, and we're going to run a query. And so I'm going to click Create. Query Design. Okay? And I'm going to click on Hudson Palmer use me, and I'm going to click add. Now let's look at what they ask us to do in that got a lot of table here. So they're going to ask us, we've added the table, and one of the things, if we have a problem like we do here with a lot of space, I can always use the drop down menu. Okay, so don't get too freaked out, don't get too whacked out about that. Now they want us to shows the contract. This is number 3, task number 3. And I'm going to sort it by their skill, then by their rating, and then by their name. So include the comment field and print the results of this query. We're not going to print anything out. No need to do that, but we will do the query. So I'm going to start contractors sorted first by their skill. So I'm going to select skill. I'll just show you here. I can come in here in the drop-down menu. Click on skill down here in the mixer. Okay, it will be a little bit easier to see, so I have some visual acuity. Sorted by their skill. Now, when I do a sort in Access or I do a sort in Excel, the sort is going to be by default in ascending order. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. Now we're going to click skill and then by their rating. And so we get their rating, and then by their name. So we'll get then their, and we'll do last name, first name. So I'm at the bottom, page 166, task 3. I have their skill, their rating, and their name. And it says include the comment field. So I want to click here and click the comment. I'm going to close that navigation pane off. And then they ask us to run this and print the results. We're going to run this. And here's the query. Okay. And we're going to call this, I'm going to save this as case 2, task 3, okay? I ran all the words together so I don't have to use an underscore or anything like that. I'm gonna click OK. Now, if I want to generate a report with this, it's pretty simple. I've closed this off, okay? And this is a query. And click on the navigation pane and you'll see there's a query. So now I'm ready to do a report and I'm gonna click create. Okay, and I'm going to click Report Wizard, and I'll say, okay, you want to use the Hudson Palmer table? Use me, okay, but I don't. I want to use the queries. I want to find that query, task case 2, task 3, and I'm going to get all of them. So I press this with the double arrow, and I'll click next. Now, with the report, as we saw last time. It can get a little bit sketchy when we try to work with the report if we have too many fields. So we're gonna sort this by skill. Okay. In fact, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna sort this by rating. Okay. And then I'm gonna click and. So I'm going to sort it by rating and then by skill. So I have it by rating, by skill, and then their last name, first name, and comment. And I'll put their last name in ascending order. I'll click next. And I think I'm going to put it in a stepped. And I'll put it in landscape. Click next. And I'm going to call it case 2, task 3. It's a report. You say, how can you tell the difference of reports, queries, and forms? Well, you can look at the icons in the navigation pane. Now, old school people will name these. If it's a table, they'll call it TBL. If it's a report, they'll call it little r, little t, little b, double L for, and then the table name, a little r, or query, a little QER. So there's there it is, and we have there, we have everything there. And we'll go to the report view. As you can see, we'd have to go in here and do a little block, a little bit of work here to move everything over so we could see it. Okay, so we've basically done that. And that was task number 3. Task number 4 is a little bit trickier. And so we're going to open this field back up here we're going to open the table back up again. And we're going to need to run a query and then run a report. So we'll go back into design view. And I'm going to make a note to myself because I have 4 fields that I'm going to be working with, and I'm going to create what we call we'll perform what we call an operation, and that is we're going to add up those 4 quarters. Now notice at the top of page 167 it says create a report to list all the freelancers, I'm reading it right from the book, and contractors with just the following fields: last name, first name, hourly rate, the total number of hours worked, and the total amount earned in 2008. So we're going to have a couple of we call them expressions that we're going to need to work with. So the first one is I'm going to get the total hours worked, and I'm going to work on I'm going to open up the WordPad, and I'll make sure I've got Q108. Okay. And I'm going to do this. I'm put a bracket, Q. And as you can see, I'm doing the hours. And I always work in the notepad because it's just, if you go in and you start working in a query design area, you can get a little freaky because of space issues. So I always like to do this. Now I want to make sure that I got the right name of the fields correct: Q108, Q208, Q308. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to compute the total number of hours worked with this expression, total hours worked, colon, and then I put a bracket around the name of the field, plus, and we'll run the query here in a minute. I'll show you how we do that. And we have another expression, okay, and that's going to be the total amount earned and we'll put that here. That's going to be total amount earned, colon, and here in the bracket I'm going to put hourly rate, because that's right from the table. You can see hourly rate, and that's of course is going to be times this other expression we did total hours worked. So think about it for a minute here. We had in the Hudson Plumber Use Me table, I have these 4 columns, and that shows the number of hours they worked per quarter. And so we'll add those up to get the number of hours worked. Then to get the total amount earned, that's going to be the hourly rate times the total amount of hours worked. So we'll be ready now to run our query. We've got our expressions, and we'll close this off. And so we're going to click Create, Query Design, and I'm going to take the Hudson Palmer Use Me, and I'm going to click Add. Okay, I'm going to close it off. Now, remove this up, and we're going to start. This is number 4. It says list the following fields. Last name. Okay, so we'll select that here. And then I think they want the first name. And then the hourly rate. Okay. And here it says they want the total number of hours worked. And here's where we're going to do something a little different. I'm going to come in here to the notepad. I'm going to copy this first expression. Okay. And then I'm going to come over to this other blank column, and I'm going to copy it to get the total amount earned. That's the second expression here. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the data sheet view and let's see what we get. And there it is. Now I'll have to squinch these out a little bit. This shows us each person by their hourly rate, the total hours worked, the total amount earned. So it shows us how much they earned, how many hours they worked, and you can check the math. Let's take a look for just a moment. This hourly rate of this Matthew Whitley or Whitley is 120 times 13, which is 1560. So we're good there. 21 times 130, that's going to be 2600 plus another 130, is 2730. Now we're gonna save this, and this will be case 2 task 4. So we've done task 4, and we'll save it. And then, of course, as you would guess, we can run a report. Okay, and so we'll just click Create and Report Wizard, and I'm going to find the query. It's called that Case 2 Task 4 query, and I'm going to get everything there. I'm going to click Next, and let's see. I'm going to sort this so I have I'm going to sort this by the total amount earned, I think. Let me close that thing off. Then the total hours worked. And then I think by the hourly rate. No, total amount earned, total hours worked. We'll just leave it as such. Click that, and we'll put their last name in ascending order. Now, I want to stop for a moment and I want to show you. You see something called summary options? If I want to, I have a field like hourly rate where I can sum it, get a maximum, etc. I'm going to click cancel on that. I'll click next. And I want it in stepped form. And I'll finish, and I have the report. And of course, as I've mentioned before, we would need to go in here and do a little work with it, but we pretty much have the total amount earned, hours worked, and we have the last name, the first name. We'll want to look at the report view. Now we don't have the hourly rate. So we're going to go into the design view, okay? And you'll see in the far right corner it says if add existing field. I'll move myself over. And let's see if we can move this guy over a bit. We've got a little bit of a space issue. And I'm going to add hourly rate. I'll close that. And we'll go back up to the report view. Now we should be able to see the hourly rate here. Yeah, there it is. And we'll go into the report view. We're in that. And as you come down, you'll see amount earned, hours worked, and then we have it by hourly rate. So you can see it's a little bit clumsy the way we lay it. And if you don't like something, just destroy it and start over. It's that simple. Okay? Now, I'm going to close this off because now we've done case 2, task 4. So we've done the report. So we've done all of the first 4 tasks. And I say produce and this is task number 5 on page 160. Task number 5, page 167. Produce and print a report to list all expert witnesses who charge more than $250 an hour. That's going to be, including this report, the total number of hours this group of freelancers worked for Hudson Palmer in 2008. This is going to be pretty easy for us to do. Let's go back to case 2, task number 4, the query. Okay, see the query? This will be very, very simple for us to do. And I'm gonna click, well, yeah, because we have those expressions. Let's click on the query called case 2, task 4, and I'm gonna simply click copy and then paste. And it's gonna be called, but I'm gonna call this case 2, task 5, and we're gonna do a little bit of work. This is a concept called polymorphism, where I can take an object like a query and I can adjust it and adapt it to my needs. That's why information, as I've said so many times before, other than people, is probably the most valuable resource that a company has, other than, say, its reputation. We'll click OK. Now let's go into this one, and we're going to do a little bit of work here in the design view. Now, let's close the shutter bar. First of all, they want us to choose people who are expert witnesses. So under, we're going to get come over to this far, first into query, I'm going to get skill. And then I'm going to come down to the line where it says criteria, and I'm going to put expert witness. And that should filter out everything except for the expert witnesses. So let's see here. Boom. And how we got those in here? Let's try this. I think we might have called them EW. Let's see if that works. Yeah. What happened there, everybody, is I spelled out expert witness but we had just used a code for a skill. So now we have all the expert witnesses, just them. This is task 5, and who charge more than $250 an hour. So we're going to go back into the design view. Remember, I can right-click and go into design view here, or I can go up here. And I'm going to come over here to the hourly rate on criteria, and I put those who charge. So I'm using expression greater than 250, and there they are. And they'll just to make this really pretty, I'll come over here and I'm going to go into the design view, and on the hourly rate I'm going to put in descending order. Those who earn the most per hour. And that's task number 5. So you see we took that one query and just adjusted it then just modified it. So we didn't have to use those expressions all over again. We've already done that work. Now, you'll notice something here, the skill thing. We're going to leave that there, but if I had a whole bunch of these and I didn't want to see this, I would just simply suppress this column. You say, how do you do that? I would press this, and then EW won't show up. I'm going to leave it in there. Well, let's leave it out. Well, now, when we generate, if we save this, we could say, expert witnesses earn more than 250. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the design view. Let's just leave it in there. Okay? It's not that many. If we had 1,000 of these or 100 of these or something, then we'd want to rename the query itself. Or when we run the report off of this, then we just simply rename the report. We're going to close this. We'll save it. Yes. And then, of course, we're ready to generate a report. So we'll click Create. We'll go to the Report Wizard, and we'll find queries, and we're going to get that task 5. Okay. And we'll click Next, and I'm going to total amount error. I'm going to sort it by that, or group it by that, and then total hours worked by that. And click OK. Last name. Click on Summary Options. You'll see again, I could do some work with hourly rate. Next. And we're going to put that in, it's in step form. We'll click Next. Now here, if I want, I can change this to say expert witnesses that charge more than 250. I'll finish it. And there's my table. Pardon me, my report. So I've done task 5. Task 6, it says there are several areas where the system can be enhanced and improved. What will happen next quarter while the two partners have the same initials? Make a list of the improvements. One of the things we did, you'll recall, is we put in a decision table. Okay. Now, we could go in here as and some improvement. We've already done an improvement where we put in the decision table and use the lookup. We could also use a lookup table for all of the expertise designations or their job designations like EW, PI, etc. We could put in a table, a lookup table for the raters, and says, well, what happens if two partners have the same initials? It's simple. In our lookup table, we just simply use their name and then put initials in the parentheses. So that's and then they said currently that the documents in the memo field don't ask the data manipulation performed. Let's go back in that table for a minute, the use me, and we'll take a look here. And they'd ask us to add a comment table. And this is page 167 with the comment no analysis can be performed. This is task 6. Using the ratings, there may be conflicting opinions. Devise a method to accommodate these differing opinions in a way that meaningful analysis can be performed. Note that this may mean redesigning the database. Well, okay. Look, if you look at the rating, okay, those are in words. So it's simple. We could create a rating scale table that says excellent is 5, good is 4, okay is 3, poor is 2. All right, we could do excellence 4, good is 3, okay is 2, and poor is 1. Got me? So, and then what you could treat those as numbers, then you could compute averages for each of for those people and do the analysis. So yeah, that's pretty much what you need to do. Well, folks, that's case number 2 in Hudson Palmer. And what I'm going to do, let's see this. I'm going to save this as, save the database as access database. Close these. And I'm going to save it in my desktop. And I'm going to call this Hudson Palmer I'm going to save this as Hudson Palmer, what is today? 320. And so let's see if I've got my Hudson Palmer 320 on there. And did it save it for me, or did I mess myself up? I think I might have messed myself up by not saving it to the, and I did mess myself up by not saving it to the, desktop. Oh, well, we make those mistakes. But I'll have a key file or a skeleton file in there for you anyway. Let's see if I can open up Access and find it. So I'll go to All Programs, Microsoft Office, Access. No, I didn't save it for me. Well, that's okay. We do have a file over there, and you've got this recording, which you can follow, which is fortunate for you. And we'll work on this in class when we work on Access case number 2, which will probably be Thursday. If not Thursday, it will be a week from Tuesday, the 21st. So it'd be, so today, is the 20th, so class is tomorrow, the 21st, so that Tuesday, then of course that it'll be that, maybe that next Thursday we'll work on case number 2. If not, then it would be a week from then. Okay, folks, again, let me go back here to the large active video. And again, I want to emphasize to you that this is a supplement, not, let me repeat, not a substitute for attending class, okay? So I'm going to get back on here, and I'm going to stop sharing my desktop, and I'm going to stop the recording and then end the meeting. Okay, everybody, and I hope you're having a great day and having a great week at class. And again, have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.